Hello. Today we are bringing something you have not heard of before, but it is a continuation of the Great Unconformity. There's some more insights, some more clarity, and it's worth listening to. And the story here is kind of a remembered. I've been saying I have a believe it or not life story, and okay, so this is going to sound a little weird, unheard of, dreams and all that stuff. But I've been facilitating health clinically. Yeah. And I also daydream and see things, have thoughts, I speak stuff. Uh, I also have intentions, body has its own intentions. And I reach out, do things. Yeah, like I'm doing this video. And from my parents' place, I also tried speaking stuff, which was not being understood. Rajarajeshwari Nagar. Yeah. We used to stay Tamil KGF. From there, took up space in Murgesh Palya. Okay. I and my brother took up, okay, I was staying in Marine Villa, um, Good Shepherd Convent. Um, when I came to Bengaluru, I was staying in Indiranagar and then in Good Shepherd's Convent for about 3 years, Marine Villa. And then took up space in Murgesh Palya, Old Madras Road with my brother. And then from there, we built house in Rajarajeshwari Nagar. While the house was being constructed, I took up rented this house close by, and I would do up and down. And that's when I thought, it's like I'm in a dry place. And then I got to somehow figure out stuff, and that's when the little bit of story went a little interesting. Um, the kahani mein twist. I was thinking, parents don't believe me, the disillusionment. I was in a high and dry space. That's what I thought. And Rajarajeshwari, while the house was being built, because I had to travel up and down, no much connection with people, because the traveling itself takes time. It's a little bit of kahani mein twist. But alongside that, um, while I was in Murgesh Palya, yeah, sorry, Murgesh Palya, is when I listened to the radio. And I listened to this program, Love Guru, yeah, and I was thinking, nice voice. And you would have to kind of watch that other video to get a little bit of, otherwise this video will go quite long, yeah. So listening to the radio, and then I started seeing everything is all surface, nothing, no depth and all that stuff. And from there, um, over time, the house got began construction because I was thinking we're going to keep staying in a rented place. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Instead, we could pay EMI, have a house, and at the end of it, we could at least say this is ours, like a house. Um, so house construction, a lot of discussions, house construction began. Now, one of the things I noticed while I was in Murgesh Palya is that I was thinking, circles of life. There are circles, and there are lots of people, circles of life, um, relationships. There are circles in relationships. And I was seeing myself as one of the people among the different relationships. Like we have a relationship with ourselves. Yeah. So, yeah. Then I was thinking very interesting dynamic stories. And then there's this versus that. And yeah. Um, the thing of don't get caught in between, this or that. You could get a quite little uh, churn. Yeah, very interesting. And several such thought lines. And I was thinking the middle path, yeah, between this or that. Drama was, no, it's not drama was when I tried. Choosing, okay, those kinds of thought lines. Very interesting. And then, where is all of this getting to? Great conformity coming there. Yeah. Um, there was a secret Santa, yeah, in my office. that used to quite happen quite annually. It's an annual game event, yeah. So at ACUSIS, ACUSIS. Um, that's where I started working starting October 2004. Yeah, October 4th, 2004. And then pretty interesting because that's a company from Kerala, started a branch here, kind of sister concern. A little bit of this happened, and then it became ACUSIS, M2M, yeah. From there to the company was called yeah. So ACUSIS. Thing is, there was already a little bit of Karnataka, Kerala, interesting dynamics. Kahanimi, a little bit of twist there. Interesting. Now, and I joined all of that, and then I took up. I'd already taken up space in Murugeshpalya. I was traveling from there, um, and then the Secret Santa thing happened. Yeah, the annual thing, and in one of the and that year's Secret Santa game, I was thinking, if God had come to Earth, living amongst us, they would also have to live just like everybody else. And I was thinking, well, that makes sense, kind of. Because there was these interesting thought lines. I listened to the radio before or after, I wonder. Yeah. But I was thinking that. And from there, where is the story going? You should listen to this. Yeah, this is quite a story. It relates with the Great Unconformity. Now, and I have been I made a treasure hunt, a greeting card, like a treasure hunt. Yeah. I left a message and then a letter and then left clues, made those clues, gave to different people so that my angel, you know, goes seeking one clue and then another clue to find this gift, kind. Yeah. Right. And she got the first clue after her full day's work. She would be like, oh, this sadness. Yeah. So a little disgruntled, I figured, because I was kind of watching all these that she has to go pick up and all that stuff, the story and one clue to another clue to. So I sent her another greeting, another message through another person with a white peace flag. Yeah, I put stuck a small note, then peace, peace. Yeah, and I was thinking Japanese, yeah, peace flag. I was thinking maybe I was already covering certain global um, history and herstory. Where is all this headed? That happened. And then life continues. There is still really a connection. Yeah. So um, we're still in touch. I kind of keep track with different people who have been having as you interact, how you relate with each other is also how a story um, gets woven. Yeah. There are threads. And then I was thinking we're all a genre of movie. Yeah. Each of us have our own stories, and according to how our stories take shape is also how relationships are there, how we interact with people. So think of what kind of a genre of life do you have? Yeah, what's your story kind? And with all of these thought lines, um, um, from then the house construction thing, and yeah, and then from there, from Murgesh Palia, listening to the radio after some time, yeah, some better to save money and all that. And then we come to Aranagar, rented place. Um, I start learning flute. And then from there, that whole fiasco kind of, yeah, with disillusionment and all that stuff. And then there was the next year of Secret Santa. And I was thinking, and this thing of, a syndicate played a game kind, and I was thinking like somebody cares. And here is like nobody cares, kind of families, disillusionment, yeah. And So my relationship with myself, trust with people, all that stuff. This is related with the Great Unconformity. Yeah, because I was not conforming with, that's not how, yeah. And then I had to kind of look at what does family mean? What is relationships? All of that stuff. Anyway, twist, master. And then in the office, Secret Santa. And then it's like somebody fooled. And yeah. So how then do you trust people? And so it's several layers of unconformity, kind of. Yeah. Because I had to look at everybody. People are saying one thing, mean one thing, do one thing, the body saying something else. Yeah. And then I had to really look at what are you talking about? Yeah. And then I came to the other end. Yeah. Like everybody's figured out something, and I have kind of missed some important classes because everybody's all fine and they're talking about marriage and kids and all that stuff. And, I had to figure out my placement in the whole scheme of things. And, that meanwhile, there was this, get married, relationships, relatives. And then it's more like, in war times, wave after wave. Yeah. Like during the pandemic, wave after wave. Like get married, one wave, another wave. Yeah. Get married. So it is, yeah, you get cookied. And after some time, more than you get people, you kind of listen more carefully. And then you see they actually care. And the care comes from a place of something is important. Yeah. Only I haven't figured things out, but I'm faced with layers and layers of care. Yeah. Um, and that made a big difference in how I was relating with people and what I did after. For example, I joined active healthcare. Okay, landmark education. A person brought this landmark education card and spoke with me, and I was thinking, um, conspiration theory. Yeah, somebody's conspiring for me to, there's a poltergeist here, and somebody's conspiring for me to join this course, and then I'll figure it out. Yeah, watch, I will figure it out. Yeah, and then I will tease out the mole in the whole thing. Yeah, those kinds of thoughts. Meanwhile, I'm this odd one out because my parents are not able to relate with me. Um, kind of disillusioned with the whole relationship and all that stuff. So not really schizophrenic. Yeah, because I'm looking at a pattern in life. It seems like everything is kind of a mosaic of several things, and it's all um, one thing is not related with the other. Lots of contradictions. And I was thinking there are things wrong with the world. Yeah. And I'm not the one with the problem. There already is some problem. I don't know what is a problem. What the heck is reality? Yeah, what the heck is being human, family, relationships, and the whole thing. Yeah, it's a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, and I had to figure out all of that stuff. And I'm speaking. Yeah, my concerns, I'm saying stuff, but it's like I'm like in this movie Terminal. Yeah, person from Croatia. The land where they came from is kind of at war, and then he was stranded in the terminal, and then he's talking stuff. People don't understand what they're saying. That's a moment. And from there, the parents were like, control your voice, control your tone, talk in a manner that that makes sense. And I was all this happening in this house only. Now I'm thinking, well, I'm saying no, that nothing is making sense. Communication is happening, and during all this figuring out all stuff, I had to have my own information management system. But about 2010 is when I started writing, little thought lines. Something is making sense. I actually even wrote, my ground is a little less shaky. Yeah, like I can stand. Something is making more sense. But before then, in 2005 is when I listened to the radio. 2006, um, you're already Aranagar. Yeah. And then where is all of this headed to? Landmark education. Yeah. And then I participated in transaction analysis. Yeah. Then family constellation work. So how is all the family trees coming up and birth stories? I started asking questions. What was my birth story? Yeah, where did trying to figure out where did I come from? Why, how we are related? So right from those original stories. And while this was all happening, I was also having images, dreams, and thoughts, and talk to people and my own intentions. So the composition of the person that I am from somehow to a little more making sense to it's a different story because my story was also including all this different information. And then I go to these courses, landmark education, different seminars, information that I get is different from what people who haven't gone to these courses don't know. So then when I'm talking about stuff, it's not making sense, or it's making sense. I have so much to say because I'm seeing so many patterns. It's like you go to a college, your family members haven't gone to the college, they don't see life the same way. You are educated, how you see life is different from somebody who haven't had that kind of an education. A person who's been to medical college or to engineering will not make sense to an accounts person because the set of information is different. Yeah. And I was participating in landmark education and transaction analysis and family constellations and many such things. And I'm being a medical transcriptionist. Yeah. So lots of patient information, all that, and then confidentiality, HIPAA, Health Information Portability and Accountability Act. So from there, what needs to be said, how it needs to be said. So this was happening. While all of my dreams and thoughts and what I'm speaking is making sense or not, yeah, and then I have my intentions and what I'd like to do, and the people, these waves of get married, and I'm, figuring out and then looking at people from new angles, and all of this is happening. So while that was happening, one of the ideas I had is I step into my heart space. Yeah. It's like a big room, kind, all of this whole constructs of reality. At some point, I hit ground nothing, and then I was reconstructing my. I spoke about, hitting ground nothing, and then Earth. Would anybody care if I'm alive or not, and those kinds. So all of this between the rented place and the constructed, yeah, the new house, took some time. And as I was reconstructing the whole thing, there was this idea of if I'm getting better, will I get everybody else with me? Yeah, this thought was there from the newly constructed house. This is after several cycles of healing, working with people, family constellations, figuring out several stuff. So there was this thought: if I'm getting better, getting out of thing to getting to a better place, will I bring everybody with me? Of course, yeah. I'm seeing so many things. What are you talking about? So, um, the fabric of time space, the weave, the threads that connect. I was maintaining those threads. And of course, I'm seeing things just because I'm seeing something doesn't mean because they don't know something, doesn't mean that, it's not there. I mean, the blood is thicker than water and all that stuff. But yeah. So all of that was happening. How is all this related with the great unconformity? I'm saying Kahani may twist, great unconformity, several layers. As of this day, I have this thought. Um, as you speak, as you walk the path appears, as you speak, also the path appears. I think. Yeah, I keep thinking about all of these stuff. How is this related with other stuff? In the new house, while I've been having ideas, reforming my relationship with things, with people, yeah. There was this moment. I have my room in the new house. My brother has his room. Parents have their room. And in this room, I have two windows, one this side and one this side. Yeah. And there is this smell, this sound kind of getting in the air um, of it being, this is around 2008. Yeah. And it's like the smell of sweat and a certain kind of, I can't say lost, but it's a kind of, it's a kind of a little sad kind. Yeah. And this idea of kind of nobody cares, or does anybody care kind of things. And I had this sort of, I'm hearing this stuff. So yeah, yeah. I don't know what in the world, whom am I talking to? But it's as though that lost sound I was not hearing that nobody cares stuff. It was not so lost. Yeah. And I don't know, the story kind of quite interesting. Yeah. Now, yeah, a little weird, but interesting. But um, there's this idea of um, in the book of Genesis, there's this idea of in the beginning there was nothing, and then God said, let there be light, and there was light. Yeah. So I heard this sound of it's a kind of a nobody cares kind. So it's a heard thing. Yeah. And sometime during the dream time, wake up, dream, you go to sleep, you wake up, the usual everyday is happening. And one of the dreams what I had is me with a candlelight. Yeah, there's a candle. I go to this, that's the steps. Yeah. It's kind of a darkish room. And I get out and I kind of recognize that this is the heart space. Yeah, like my heart space. And I can't just can't just get on the steps because it's a different kind of a space. It's kind of sacred. And there's like a highly respected person, this presence person there. And then slowly, because you can't just because I know there's something there, and then I can't just enter that space. Um, so okay, whatever this is, I kind of respect the unknown for clearly. Yeah, there's a big presence. Over time, I had this thought of it's kind of dark. I'll come quite often because I had this thing of this my heart space, and I'll come quite often because it seems like it's a place that needs a little more care. Yeah, a little more regular visit kind. Yeah, it's a dark kind of space, but needs a little more care. It seemed the respected presence and all that, and you can't just barge in somehow. Yeah, ooh, yeah. It's like you're going to a temple, but it's like a kind of big place. Yeah. Ooh. Now, how is this related with the Great Unconformity? I've been connecting the dots between different events, and I've been saying I have a believe it or not life story. And I do a retrospective, reflective learning. So I pay attention to also my dreams. And if you don't take things literally, because what you're seeing may have several connotations across time and space. Now, that event, candlelight, stepping through steps, dark space, um, has had many versions. For example, and then I participate in shaman introduction to shamanism. There are also dreams. Yeah, there are visions and through levels of consciousness. And then you kind of learn to interpret. There is this, but that's not literally what it means. There are other connotations. There are several relationships, dynamics, vectors. So I'm calling it as conscious, subconscious, unconscious, supraconscious. And there are dynamics. There are different time scales. So I'm saying Vaikari as in Pashyanti. Yeah, what you're seeing has a certain math to it. What you're thinking has a certain logic, a certain timeline, a certain math to it. What you're speaking also has a certain math and time to it. Para, as in supraconscious consciousness, also has a certain math to it. And para is not necessarily, ooh, everything all figured out. Yeah. Because there's this idea of Jivatma and Paramatma. There also is a para. Yeah. So that doesn't mean Paramatma is all figured out. It's more like um, body and mind connection. Body has a certain logic to it. There's a physiological anatomy. You can touch, feel, but then there's also the mind. So we say para as the mind. And then you have vision, and then you have thoughts, and then you have words. So there's been this question of how is mind body related? how is reality and illusion related? Those outlines are there. And I'm speaking from several things figured out. And how is this related with the Great Unconformity? So you may be a little disturbed with my hand movements, but let's just say there are many things to kind of also get disturbed by, because what I'm saying here, if you're only going to be taken aback by making movements, kind of getting you a little comfortable with the uncomfortable, and that what's uncomfortable is not necessarily bad, because they're all kind of related. Yeah. I'm just getting a little more comfortable with, I could say, nautanki. There are patterns. I had to take a break and then come back. Okay, so there are patterns. Now, the patterns here is that the light, candlelight, that I then stepped and then came into the dark room, that's related with, so in the previous video, I was speaking about the Sandman, yeah, sandstorm and all of that. So a lot of, believe it or not, elements. This one, as of today, I recognize is like, there's an event that happened, yeah? They say it's like a big planet, like asteroid or something slammed into Earth, yeah? And there is some records that say it came to the Pacific Ocean, and then there has been a circle of fire, yeah? There are no planets, continents there, but this happened before Pangaea formed. Pangaea is C-shaped, all the continents, and then since there, the Gondwana land formed, and then from there, Earth took a float, and then has become the subcontinent with Asia, yeah, with the Himalayas. It's like with the cold shoulder, yeah. But since the Great Unconformity, there has been a diversification of species. Life showed up in different forms. There's been oxygen, and life showed up as an idea. But before then, what happened before then? It's like 10 layers, yeah, kind of going. That's, you could say this is the stories. You've concorded up some stuff. But listen to this. There is some fine details. That light is more like a big planet-sized object slammed into Earth and caused a mass destruction, yeah, of the landmass that was before Pangaea. I don't know how many times this has happened or when this happened, but there was this said to be the city of Atlantis, yeah, and civilizations, yeah, and things, technology, many stuff happening, and that since then the landmass has kind of shifted and Pangaea. So I don't know how many times this has all happened, yeah, landmass is shifting and then Pangaea and then the continents as we know today. But the idea is that light was like a very respected space, but a certain sadness, like nobody cares. The whole thing is a little like a Grand Canyon, Grand Canyon mountain ridges. Now this is going to sound a little odd, yeah, but in that heart space, I visited quite often because over time I discovered I kind of walked into the room and then opened some windows because it's also there's no light, wind, yeah, no, it's not like a breathing space. But then once the windows were a little bit open, a little more golden light, yeah, it's more a breathing kind of a space room. And then over time, I recognized my partner, complementary partner. And there was this idea of sitting on a whitish, bluish white kind of a surface. And I was thinking, we're kind of pretty comfortable sitting in. It's like it's our home space. Yeah, and I was thinking that it's like a platform, bluish white platform. I was thinking, what in the world is that? Over time, I discovered after shamanic journeying and all of that, I discovered one of the things I saw is enter, the movie starts with like a fire-breathing dragon. Yeah, dragon dinosaur. Yeah, fire. And then I'm seeing 7 candles. Yeah, lit 7 candles. Through a corridor, I enter, and then there's this big, like a big torch, furnace space. Yeah, a big torch, like this Olympic candles, big torch. And then this fire goes and lights that fire. And then from there, 4 such torches, yeah, 4 fires goes in 4 different directions. 4 fire, 4 different directions. So this candle, 7 candles, and that color in the heart space matches. Yeah, that's when it's good. Oh, candle. Yeah, it's a candle. And then I was still wondering about that. So today, what I have an insight is Neptune has a bluish white color. And as I was facilitating health clinically, now, after all of these different kinds of thought lines, different courses I've been attending, and then over time, then, so I have my thought lines, which is different from my family's thought lines, and people in the company I was working in, they don't have these thought lines because I've been having education from many places. Yeah. And then over time, from medical transcription, which is more like passive healthcare, I got into active healthcare. I joined biodynamic craniosacral therapy course, foundational course. So while I did 9 hours job as a medical transcriptionist, I would take like so much time, 5 days, seminars every now and then. I would take leave, practice, and then after work hours, evening time, I would practice. And then these seminar times, I would take leave, study. So work and education, learning was happening simultaneously together. Yeah. So yeah, it was quite occupied time, space. I have to also study and then clinic work and then work what I need to do to function as a QA. Yeah, QC QA, and then studies from there, maintaining the certification, all that. So all of this is happening. While it was there, I also had this sense of I'm in some old musty room, yeah, or kind of dust sheets everywhere. So I also have these visions, thought lines, yeah, words I'm talking, intentions. And one of the things is that I'm this like the attic of a house, and there's dust sheets everywhere, all dark. And I was thinking, what in the world? Like this heart space, kind of dark with a light, and I'm seeing it in a certain light. And it seems like this old attic dust sheets. And slowly I keep coming. Yeah, we got to clean this. And over time, some cleaning has happened. It was all dark. Two, I could see the skylight. Okay, attic. Yeah. Um, so in the transaction analysis, family constellation work, one of the things they asked about is um, imagine you have a house, like a room. Yeah. Can you imagine that you have your own kind of a house where you're coming from? And so there's this thought, and I was thinking, big dark house. And people are talking about house, and I'm saying it's like a big palatial house, like a big house, like with lots of rooms. But I can't quite see everything. I can only see the entrance of a door. There's light coming from there. Inside, everything is dark. But I have a sense that it's big, got many kind of rooms. So stage by stage. So I went into heart space, and then I have attic. So all of these kind of relate. So I've been cleaning the house. So kind of house is related with Neptune. Yeah. That candlelight candle, Neptune planet. Now I was thinking this, and Neptune also has a color. As I was medical transcription, figuring out my life and, making sense of all of this, so attic space, yeah. Then I was thinking, over time I discovered there are like plumbing and electricity and then drainage and all kinds of things. It's like it's a mess. Yeah, it's kind of a lot of stuff happening, kind of layer. And I had the sense that like I'm in under the earth. Like if you go under the earth, you have plumbing and electricity and many kinds of pipes and tubes and dusty. Like, has nobody cleaned this place? Like how long, guys? Since when? And I started clinical health facilitation around that. Yeah. And I was making sense of life from a new perspective. With all of my thought lines, I'm facilitating health. Yeah. And then I'm working with people who have health challenges. Yeah. Different kinds. And while this was happening, my house, the house that I found myself in, cleaning is all happening. So different layers of healing the fabric of time space, cleaning up the house, making it more livable. So you could say, which space are you? So I told you, believe it or not. Now, how do you make sense of this? I'm seeing visions. So the visions that you have different timelines. There's a certain way by which you see visions, but they may be connected across different lifetimes, timelines. And the thoughts you have, different timelines. You have thoughts from your book, you have thoughts from, so what's written in the book may be somebody else's thought lines in that timeline. And then you're reading it. So words, thoughts you have their own pace. The words you speak, I need to be speaking in a way that makes sense to you. So this may be, I'm speaking from different timelines right now. Yeah? There's a vision thought timeline, spoken timeline, and my body's intention timeline. Yeah. So Vaikari Madhyama Pashyanti Param. Having said that, as I was facilitating health clinically, yeah, I also noticed I'm a little lost between timelines. No. The City of Atlantis may have had their own technologies, but there was something not working as well as it needed to. And I may have come and demolished that whole thing. Yeah. And I have this thought line that my partner has been talking in terms of algae. So there's this movie, K-Pax. And there they're talking about algae, the alien, apparently, yeah, uh, came from some place, planet, somewhere, some place, where they used to cultivate algae. And then came to Earth, and that's a story, K-Pax, K-PAX. And then when I met my partner, yeah, I was thinking I'm old, like I'm really old. Yeah. Because with all the education and with health facilitation, I was feeling quite old. And I was thinking I'm really old. And then I meet my partner and I have the sense of he's older. And I'm like, how is it possible that he's older? Yeah. So I had to again figure out the math because I was thinking old and he's older. So how is all this related? That's when I kind of had this idea of I'm a universe, he's a universe, different people, different universes, and universes have different ages. Yeah, their own age. This is soul age. I don't know, universe, I'm thinking. And so I had to figure out this hot space. I eventually figured out this person is partner. Yeah, big respected space, like big. And my partner has been talking in terms of algae, and I've been thinking fungus. Yeah, like like lichen and fungus is like we are two species keeping together on the planet. Me, female, male, complementary partner, and life since the Great Unconformity. Yeah, life is several speciation. And I was thinking he has the algae bit, and I fungus bit. So I had to figure out what is all this related. Yeah. And he's also been talking in terms of coffee and then, productivity and, mathematics in the sense pathways. This is how you do things. There are rules, quantity, and how you do things. So City of Atlantis, per se. Things where their civilizations, layers, since several cycles of evolution, city. So the great conformity, so many billion years of thing just, yeah. So the Big Bang kind, yeah, it must have been something. And on further thoughts, there's this idea that water came to Earth from somewhere else. Yeah. And I have this idea. I participated in landmark education courses. I've been participating in different seminars. And there they talk in terms of what are you the possibility of? What are your, so I'm the possibility of responsibility, different possibility of different, so you arrive with who, what are you a possibility of? And during one of the seminars, I was thinking, I'm new. Yeah. And another one, I said, I thought I'm the possibility of life. No, before that, I was thinking of the possibility of oxygen. Yeah. They're like, what are you looking at? I said, new, possibility oxygen, and then possibility life. Yeah, then me. Yeah. And I was like looking at that, yeah, that me. Yeah. So how is all this related? So you made this up. But the story is so much match. I didn't know about the Great Unconformity until I actually heard about it. Then I also got to know India took float from Gondwana land and became a subcontinent. Where in the world was I to know all that? As you walk, the path appears. It's like new information. After the tsunami, they discovered an excavation site in this temple. Yeah. Um, Malaysia, Mahabalipuram, around there. They discovered an excavation site after the tsunami. Where was it before then? Yeah, where did all the water go? Yeah. So it's just a little interesting. Yeah. Yeah, you see weird signs, but there are explanations for it, but this does not make sense. Phenomenon. How do you explain phenomenon? So reality illusion, yeah, timelines. So it's not this world is all an illusion. No. Yeah. This one is really real. If I'm going to be hit with this, it'll really hurt. Yeah, I'm not imagining it stuff. But having said that, there is this thing of what does it mean to be human? We have WHO's global list of diseases, economic challenges, technology, we have artificial intelligence, hallucinations. How do we make sense of all of that? Yeah, and we all people are planning to go to Mars, form colonies. So there are dreams. And we've also gone to moon, but then haven't been able to since some time. So how does all of this add up? There's an intelligent design here. And then I'm coming up with these thought lines. I have original humane intelligence. And my thought lines is about human. What does it mean to be human? And I'm saying humans are designed to enliven life in the multiverse. Yeah, that's like, where did that come from? From these several logics. Okay. So the great unconformity. And I was thinking new oxygen life. That Neptune, like bluish white, as well as facilitating health clinically, one of the things I had a vision of, yeah, is that there's this big diamond, a big diamond, and it needs to be ground. Yeah. Like you would make, say, glasses or different things. Ground to, it's not just shiny big. Yeah, it's got to be. Now, over time, as I was also participating in these shamanic practices, studying, yeah, shamanic journey, I figured out glass. They're talking in terms of gems and yeah, all kinds of emerald and all kinds of pearl and many, many things. And I'm thinking glass. Yeah, because you can then see clearly. It's all clear. I'm thinking glass. Who everybody's talking precious thing for me, glass. Yeah, it's just heavy. Yeah. Yeah, it's just playing good old glass. Just yeah. And then I was thinking glass house in Lalbagh Gardens. There's a glass house, Lalbagh Gardens. I hadn't yet encountered this idea of the Sri Chakra, the dot, and then the whole forest of life. Yeah, the whole garden of life. And then I was thinking, like living life from a glass house. Yeah, that's clear. There's no veils, stuff. I have my space, you have my space, it's also a house, but it's just clear. Yeah, it's just less complicated. It's just simple. Yeah, life is just what's there to hide. I mean, it's just, yeah, we house, space, live, all kind plants, animals. Yeah, also have my house. So there's a house, glass house. Yeah. And then there was a thought of what is it to hide so much? Yeah, that you have to be behind veils, just big walls. All that makes sense. Walls all make sense. House also makes sense. But I was kind of dealing with a lot of human behaviors, interaction, so many stuff. Okay, I mean, still is. Diseases, we have WHO's global list of diseases. What I kind of had to think about, what in the world have people been doing all this time? Yeah. Until I kind of looked at health. Yeah. Didn't we have health? It was all fine. Yeah. And then we see WHO's global list of diseases, so many fields of healthcare and so many things. And why do we have this? I was not just born yesterday. We've been having a civilization since some time. And still, why do we have all of this? Yeah. Buddha, all peace, and all these things, United Nations, all of this. Still, why do we have all of these problems? Yeah. And then you discover the Great Unconformity. Yeah. How is this related? All of these different layers of civilization has happened before. The City of Atlantis has happened before. All nice, great technology, beautiful, so many things. And the conglomerate science of how all of this work does not quite work. And I was hearing nobody cares, those kinds of things. And yeah, um, Neptune, big diamond. There's apparently Neptune and Uranus have diamonds raining. I looked it up on Google. Which planet was it? Neptune or Uranus? Yeah, which planet has been having rain, diamond rain? So I read it out from there. Yeah, it says diamond rain is a phenomenon on Neptune and Uranus, where intense pressure and heat transform carbon in the atmosphere into diamonds, which then rain down through the planet's layers. Okay? These diamonds are formed from carbon atoms and methane, get crushed into crystalline structures, and sink toward the core before potentially vaporizing and recycling back up, influencing the planet's magnetic fields as they fall. That's significant. So I was thinking, water, there's also this thought line that water came from somewhere. I'm thinking Uranus or Neptune, like diamond. Yeah, crystal. And then like Pacific, in the Pacific Ocean, yeah, fire, ball of fire. And then demolished. Yeah. City of Atlantis. Ooh, yeah. And that's like water found Earth. We already had algae and coffee and all that civilization stuff. And so it's more like a human rehabilitation program by Almighty.Inc, by intelligent design. Yeah. And I'm thinking solar system is like an odd ball of a family with odd balls in one family. And I'm thinking Neptune has material, representative material, from somewhere else, from some other planet, star, galaxy, I don't know. Because each of these, we're like odd balls in one family, solar system family. Neptune has representatives, like House of Representatives from somewhere else. And from I'm thinking Neptune. For some reason, I'm thinking Neptune. Maybe because it has N. Yeah, Narayana, Narayana. What stories? I've been thinking Neptune, yeah. And on Earth, and then there's, yeah, diamantine, glass. Whew, yeah. And then glass could hurt. Yeah, if it hurt you. So soft serve, not hurt. Yeah. So to soften glass, and we all know say soft serve, that's taken some time. So me all care and all a different kind. But don't think I don't remember where I come from. No, I'm just telling you. Now, having said that, yeah, all humane, all nice. Yeah. So now, from tissue fire demolish. They have found a chip, like a computer chip, during excavations. And I've been saying I'm a chip of the old block. I was saying, okay, chip. There's also computer. There's also like wood block chip of the old block. So this has happened before, uh, from some information. And I've been thinking plasma. When I joined my company, I was thinking I'm kind of plasma material. Yeah. And then I saw this video today that's talking about plasma connections between planets. The sun is connected with some other Sirius. I'll put that link to that video which I found. Yeah. And I was thinking plasma. So I'm from somewhere, yeah. And I'm thinking Neptune. So different elements, yeah. And then the Great Unconformity, things were not working. So non-cooperation movement, India, Mahatma Gandhi ji, non-cooperation movement, and then Dundee March, अच्छा नमक बनाने के लिए. Yeah. And I was thinking it was all a sad story. Like we have saltine water oceans, and then we have like 1% potable water. That's because over time, um, the different planets is like Shishu's gem, they say. Yeah, Shishu's gem is also a diamond like. Yeah, and Raya and the Last Dragon. That's a gem. I'm thinking from Neptune. I don't know why I'm now thinking Uranus, but I'm thinking Neptune because of maybe the color of it. How's Uranus? I got to still look, but I'm thinking bluish white. And then I also read somewhere that Neptune had a different spin when compared to other planets. And then I found no, they made some. It was some calculation error, and then they found another calculation. I'm thinking this is a different math. It's a different, yeah, it's a different turn on the matter. So maybe that original something about Neptune is all kind of related, and then they made some corrections. Something is seen, not seen, unless Neptune is functioning by two kinds of math. Yeah, it has different spins, which would be interesting. Yeah. So you're seeing it, not seeing it. See how it's a planet. And Pluto is I'm a planet, not a planet. I'm a planet, not a planet. Yeah, or rather, our definitions are, you're a planet, not planet. So something like that about Neptune also may have been. So this maybe both is there. Yeah. So Neptune is functioning by two kinds of timelines. Yeah. One calculated one, another calculated. Okay. But the other thing is, and I've been saying Bita is times two. My name, B, as in like DI. Yeah. And the THA is also time. So times two. Alpha, beta. So B, beta. So times two. Yeah. Yeah, I told you, believe it or not. And then I'm born on a Friday. They also talk in terms of Judgment Day. Yeah, Muslims, they have special prayers on Friday, Jesus, Good Friday, up on a Friday, and I was born on a Friday. Yeah, believe it or not, yeah, I have all of these thought lines. So fact check, correction, all of yeah, I've been doing check this, not check this. Do I say this, not this, say this? So I'm now taking a bus number 36. Yeah, and then going through Dhanvantri Road, yeah, to Majestic. And from there, taking a bus to Seshadripuram, which is more like snakes. Yeah, the idea of Seshadri, like Vishnu, thousand-headed snake, Seshadri. And then there's the idea of Anantashayanam, yeah, bringing the world into existence. So there's this idea of people are all like this universe is, somebody is dreaming this world into existence. So we all have our dreams, and we all have our castles in the air. And we also have the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Tower of Babel, and the foundation needs to get stronger. So we have castles in the air, people would like to go to Mars and different thought lines, but we need to have a strong foundation, basics, by which the castles, the dreams can actually come true. And updating the foundation, the basics, of what it means to be human. With all these different thought lines, different medicinal fields, and still we don't have a comprehensive idea of what it means to be human. And different people have different logic of how the human body functions or why it functions. I don't think we're talking in terms of why it functions. But I also discovered that in the late Triassic era, there was a mass extinction event when the male genes in the Y chromosome began to start reducing from 900 to present 55 genes. And there were early mammals in that time. Now, after the late Triassic era, there was the advent of dinosaurs. And the dinosaurs have tails. Yeah, if you notice dinosaurs' tails. And early mammals were there in the late Triassic era. And there is several reports that say chipmunks, yeah, would chipmunk squirrel related. Chipmunks burrow, squirrel go up the tree, and then so their behavior is different. Chipmunks are underground kind-ish, yeah, or their ancestors used to be more underground. Squirrels on tree. So the thing is, there's this idea of chipmunk-like ancestors have been surviving the 5 different mass extinction events, and used to be underground dwellers. To over time, there is this idea of silos. There are many silos in Earth, yeah, where there used to be civilizations, and then over time we figured out how to be on Earth, and now we have the civilizations as we know it. And so it's taken some time. So Atlantis, we have in a city where they figured out all this and formed civilizations and then technologies also, and certain things they didn't figure out. For example, they didn't figure out how to go beyond technology, or rather technology as they knew it, or the purpose of being human, why human beings are created. Those thought lines may not have been there because of the logic by which they were functioning. For example, magic, yeah, visualization, chanting, um, um, use of energy manipulations, visualizations, but then there's also psychic things, and things got a little unconducive, yeah, to life working fine. And so it's like a new culture needs to be started. So Almighty dotting mass extinction event, yeah, one ball of fire, yeah, 10 layers. And over several cycles of my development, over 46 years, yeah, I've been studying different details. Why is life like this? Why are we all these different behaving people? I've been reconstructing several spheres of influence. Sri Chakra is a point of reference, but we also have I Ching, we also have Ashoka Chakra, we have so many wheels, yeah? And then how do all these wheels come together? It's like one big grandfather clock, yeah? So how are all these wheels connected? And we are still thinking about how is time related? Yeah, what is time? And those kinds of thought lines. And I've been forming a certain image, yeah? I call it as mighty conscience. I've made some versions of it. Um, uh, link in YouTube. I'm making a better one so that's more comprehensive than the latest updated one, because there is a lot more. I have to make an updated one so then we can then look at the matter. Okay, so that's how to make a digital version of it. So I'm still figuring out all that. I've tried just, with the chart and then showing people, and there's this glare and things are not as clear. So different stages of making that happen. Yeah. But you have this to listen to. Yeah. And we have the hard problem of consciousness, time in different stages of being figured out. And we have our own health, wealth, wisdom challenges, humanity across boundaries, healthiest sperm and ovum, from Y chromosomes, reducing from 900 genes to 55. And there are studies that says pregnancy is maintained by the health of the Y chromosome, the father's material, and mother's material, X chromosomes, nurture the embryo into livability. So if Y chromosome has had a reduction from 900 to 55, the ability to care is what maintains being human. So X chromosomes have been supporting the Y chromosomes in healing. I'm thinking the Y chromosomes have a reference from this great unconformity because things were not working. So there may have been many mass extinction events to better culture. There is this tendency for violence. Yeah, dinosaurs, long tail, to that 5th mass extinction event, dinosaurs off. And then we have humans developed over time with the tail stuck inside the body. Yeah, and then we still dog in the bone, straighten out the dog's tail, and all those kinds of stories. Yeah, so they're all very related. And we still have a concern with longevity. Yeah, we don't see death as the most deadliest disease that mankind has been facing since some time. So what does it take for us to go beyond death as a disease? We have the idea of Ashtanga Yoga, where Yama is also the name of the god of death. And we have Ashtanga Yoga, but we have 8 limbs. And how are all these related? We even do contortionisms, all kinds of poses and postures. And we still haven't been able to go beyond death as a disease. Yeah, there are thought lines about going beyond life and death cycles. But what does it take? How is it possible? Also takes us coming to a better understanding of time. And there's a hard problem of consciousness. So Vaikari is one time fabric, yeah, time-space relativity. Madhyama or thought lines as time-space relativity, there's a different thought line. Pashyanti, the images that we see, different time-space relativity, yeah. And then there is para, time-space relativity. And there are 2 of them. We have male and female. Males and females are like 2 species keeping each other together on the planet. Since the Great Unconformity, there is the algae and the fungus, lichens. Yeah. So this is like the whole story of life starting all over again. And water is said to be what carved the Grand Canyon. Great Unconformity, they're also saying like mountain ranges eroded up to their baselines. Yeah. They may even have gone other way. Yeah. So the thing is, water carved the Grand Canyon. So I'm like carving the Grand Canyon to how we have been living life, kind of what we have been seeing as civilization. And yeah, but then how we look at time, they're talking in terms of quantum mechanics and weird signs and things happening, weather changes. I even discovered today that El Nino, La Nina, El Nina, La Nino. Okay, I may be telling the words this way, that way. Is related with the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, where sometimes there's slightly above warm, slightly above normal temperature. And at other times there is slightly cooler than normal temperature. And there's also a neutral phase in between. Yeah, Ashtanga Yoga, they also talk about Anuloma, Viloma. That's also different phase. In facilitating health clinically, I'm registered with the Pacific Association of Craniosacral Therapists. Quite interesting, Pacific, yeah? And then the Pacific Ocean. And then there is, trauma therapists, they talk in terms of upper crust, lower crust, yeah? Between different drama triad, yeah? Different vortices to come to a practitioner neutral, yeah? So there are all these thought lines. And I facilitate how to have a balanced common sense while there are so many complementary opposites, male, female. Now I'm talking about 4 timelines. Yeah. And I'm saying male and female because Neptune is functioning, I think, by 2 timelines. Yeah. And then I'm thinking my mother, father material. Yeah. Y chromosome, X chromosome. Every human being have Y chromosome, X. Body is formed from Y and X chromosome, but I'm a female, all X chromosome. Yeah. So I care. My brand of care is different. I have all these thought lines. And I discovered our human body, the human body formed from father's material being able to maintain that fertilized embryo in mother's womb. And then mother cares for that womb enough to have life and then be born. So I'm formed from care. And I'm like, I would say all female, like ×2 female. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But then I figured my body formed from the Y chromosome support. Otherwise, my body wouldn't be, I wouldn't sustain that fertility time. Yeah. And then, so I figured out ×2 because ×2. Yeah. And then they say about some people being meat eaters and vegetarian. And so every person have these dual kind of a nature sometimes. Yeah. So mine, thinking both female. Yeah. So what does male and female mean in terms of behavior, in terms of composition? Yeah. All these thought lines. And then So I have, how is me related to you? We even refer to our body as you. So X chromosome, Y chromosome, they say paternal patriarchal society. Father, so a body, simply having a body that's human, that's Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. You have a body that's human, this is all father material. Our body would not form if father material was not good enough to sustain the pregnancy. We should be grateful to Father, body that's human matter. And we have a life, the light of life inside, that's mother material. Yeah. Um, so that's like how me and you are related. Like mathematics is as an internal thing, and mathematics, the different pathways, quantity stuff, City of Atlantis. Yeah, Atlas. We say Atlas. Yeah, like Atlas shrugged, Ayn Rand. But what are you talking about? It does matter. Fountainhead, Atlas shrugged. Okay, Atlas. Yeah, Atlantis. So we are the walkie-talkie cities. Yeah, father material, different kinds of people. Somebody has to grow crops in the field and then transport it from there for us to be able to buy it. Somebody had to make the money for us to buy the material transported from the field to here. So we are all father material. We are like one city of one Atlantis. Yeah, from Atlas, you order something online from one country to another country. How a material made available? Lot of stuff. We're all on the same planet Earth, and we have technologies. That's like a city of Atlantis, but different layers of. It's taken some time for us to form all of this. Yeah, and now I'm talking in terms of this, which means I have been doing something which has been more conducive to life moving further, not having to go through another great unconformity, because I am being quite unconformal. Yeah, I think I'm quite sufficient to change things for the better. Yeah. So I will pause with this thought line because there's quite some material here. Further to be continued. Thank you so much for your kind interest. Good day.